My name is John. I am the CEO of Saturday Kids. I'm also a co-founder of Collision 8, a collaborative innovation workspace. I run a couple of micro funds that invest in startups both in Southeast Asia and in the US. I spend most of my time on Saturday Kids, which is a digital literacy school for kids. So the idea is to get kids to start creating with technology, and through learning technology, they learn how to learn. Because I think that a lot of kids, they are so used to rote learning in school, they stop questioning things around them, and they stop being curious about the physical and natural environment. So what we really want to do is to use coding and electronics and robotics as a way to get kids to ask questions again, to be curious, inventive, and resourceful. Besides Saturday Kids, I also run a co-working space called Collision 8, and it's designed to be a space for innovators to meet and collaborate, and that's where I work out of as well. Besides Saturday Kids and Collision 8, I also have a bunch of startups that I've invested in over the years. So I spend a little bit of my time managing that portfolio, meeting the founders that I've invested in, just generally learning from them as much as anything else. So I started Saturday Kids 5 years ago because I was looking around for coding schools for kids, and there weren't any in Singapore, or at least not ones that I thought I would send my son to. So it really started as a side project, and I just wanted to start something that I can send my kids to. I have 4 kids. I think over the years, it has evolved into much more than just a coding school. When I started, the goal really was just to get my kids to learn coding from a young age. But then I realized that learning coding as a technical skill is not enough. Actually, what's more important is the ability to ask questions and the ability to stay curious. So, I think kids are all born curious, but they lose that as they grow up. So we want to put that curiosity back into kids, and we want to get them to question why things cannot be done, or question why things are done a certain way. The greatest inventions and the greatest companies out there, be it Google or Amazon or Facebook, they are all started by founders who question why the status quo is the status quo, right? What we want our students to get used to, and obviously having the technical skills to then turn their ideas into a product is immensely useful, right? Because then they don't have to depend on other people to build it for them. But as a starting point, I think what's really important is just that curiosity about the people around them, about the things around them, about the environment. I think the first thing kids and parents will notice about a Saturday Kids class is that it's not like a regular classroom. So, before this, I just got off the phone with a parent, and one of the things she said during the call is that a Saturday Kids class doesn't feel like a formal school with formal lessons. It feels a lot more about exploring. It feels a lot more about getting the kids to try different things. We design the curriculum and we design the philosophy of the school around the idea that there are many things kids don't know, and they don't know what they don't know. Our job is to show them things that would make them curious and that would inspire them to, I use this term very often, to question the things around them. When you couple that questioning nature with the technical ability to actually build things, that's really powerful. I think the other thing that I guess is missing in schools is that schools don't really teach kids or don't expect kids to apply knowledge. So schools today are just like they were 50 years ago, which is dissemination of knowledge, which I think is not particularly useful in this day and age when information is just one Google search away, right? So I think what's powerful is how you apply what you know to build stuff, right? It's the application of knowledge and not knowledge itself that is useful. So that's something that we try to instill in Saturday Kids students, that it doesn't matter what you know, what's more important is how you apply what you know to build useful things that people actually use or that people actually want. The challenges I'm facing right now on a daily basis is there's so many new coding schools coming out of the woodworks. A lot of these coding schools are almost jumping on that bandwagon of kids needing to learn how to code, right? So now coding is a thing. There are entrepreneurs who see a business opportunity in getting kids to learn how to code, which is, to be fair, how I started 5 years ago. Like I said, we have moved beyond just getting kids to learn how to code. With all these new schools popping up, we need to be 2 steps ahead of them. So we are constantly asking ourselves, what, as a business, what value do we bring to our users, whether we are talking about parents here or kids or schools, and how can we be different than everybody else, right? So if you read 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, the best companies are the ones who create a natural monopoly for themselves. I'm an economist by training, right? So perfect competition basically means zero margins, right? Nobody wins. So one of the difficulties that we have is, on the one hand, we do need to keep running classes because that's our bread and butter and that's what keeps the company afloat. But on the other hand, we need to spend that time, money and resource to build a better product, right? Whether that better product is a better class or a better curriculum or a better set of instructors, or maybe stop putting a human being in front of a bunch of kids and we come up with a entirely different approach to getting kids to learn how to learn. I think just balancing sales and product, I think it's always something that entrepreneurs struggle with.